this demonstration, we're going to have a go at painting a snow scene. This was from a live stream, so I'm just showing a few members some pictures in my sketchbook. I started a daily sketchbook a few months ago, and I've kept it up so far. So I had a little run through in gouache on my sketchbook with this scene. So this is what we're going to paint on this demonstration. Sometimes before I do a painting that I'm perhaps going to try and do in a Monet style, I'll have a quick look through my Monet book and take some inspiration. I noticed certainly some colour styles he used, warm and cool, to get that snow effect, and the brushwork for the trees gave me inspiration looking at those images. So I've sped this up because this was actually a really long video. This was 2 hours, so the full video is on my membership for tier 2 members if you want to watch the full thing. So let's paint a Monet inspired masterpiece, and if you would like to know how to take your paintings from looking a little bit overwhelming with the colour like this to something more realistic, stick around because that's what we're going to show you later in this video. And please do me a favour and hit that like and subscribe. It's free to do it, but it really does help the channel out a great deal. So let's get started. So I'll run through what's going on here. So I'm keeping the values nice and light off in the distance there, and soft edges that, generally speaking, I think with the Monet paintings, most things were probably soft edges with the way the brushwork is done, but not necessarily as soft as we've got in the background there. So I'm putting some cool bluey green on the foreground there, and that's to get the coolness in the snow, and then I shall be laying the warmer colours on top. I thought it'd be a good idea to establish some darks so I can kind of start to see the image really. And again, I've put some green on there, which I'll then be putting some reds over the top of that. I did start with an accurate drawing. I'll provide a traceable for members as well. That I think, you know, something I've really come to learn over the last few years is, you know, the drawing, it's the skeleton of your painting, so it needs to be accurate, or you need to at least have a good idea how to see relationships where things are. And that's when my sketchbook comes in to practice that all the time. So again, I've got a play of warm and cool there, and already that gives us a nice sense of snow, the blues against the reds there. And laying the paint on how I think Monet would have done it, I don't really know. That you know, at the end of the day, it's a case of, you know, how we interpret his scenes, and I wasn't necessarily looking for a Monet replica. It's just taking inspiration from it really, but not blending. That's the key. And one of the big things is, you know, not using white paint everywhere. You know, that's a common mistake people make when painting snow scenes, is you reach for white paint because you think that makes sense, everything's white. You know, put white paint down, but it basically will desaturate all your colours. And the way that Monet painted his snow scenes, there's actually very little white in his paintings. He used the play of warm and cool colours. Basically, think of the snow as a mirror, and it's reflecting the light from above, from surrounding areas, off objects and so on. So that's what I'm doing there. So you can see we've got a lot of blue in the foreground there, which is cool, and I've got the sun coming across over those trees, adding that warmth. So that warmth will then need to be on the snow. So, you know, we can do that by laying the paint on top of what's there. Obviously, if I start laying, you know, the yellows and so on the blue and start scrubbing it into the paint, we're going to get green, which I don't want. So I have to be very careful to just lay the paint on top. And maybe a few hard edges where the trees are, which will put more focus on those. And I say this was done on a members live stream via Google Meet, and we did it in actually 2 sessions. Well, there's one live stream session which we did about an hour, just over an hour, and I got the painting so far, and then I finished it the following day on Saturday morning because I wasn't you know, happy as a finished painting. That quite often I do get a painting finished in an hour if it's this sort of size, which is about, I think, 25 centimeters by 30 centimeters, not a big painting. But more recently I've started to go a little bit more detailed, so it's taken a little bit longer. So I'm sort of finishing it in 2 settings, which, you know, I'm quite enjoying, going a bit more detailed. So you can see there that I've just thrown a load of yellow paint on top of that blue, but it's on top of the blue, not scrubbed into the blue and, you know, mixed into green. And then that starts to give that sense of you know, light to the scene that just the blue on its own didn't do it. You know, it kind of made it look like snow, but not realistic. So there's a good message for us there, that, you know, you need both warm and cool colors, and that's what you should be thinking of. That you know, I've really started to think about when I'm painting, color temperature. You know, the area I'm painting, is it warm, is it cool? The actual exact color is not that important. I don't think that, you know, that pink I'm putting on there, if it was a more reddy pink or more bluey pink, not going to be a huge problem, but the tonal value is important, and the overall temperature. And I'm coming up to the first hour of the session here, and it was a little bit bright and vivid for me, really. That's probably why I decided to paint it again. But after an hour, I'd kind of had enough, and I'm sure the members watching live probably ready for a break as well. So it was a good time to finish. And probably in the past, I may have just continued painting and overworked and muddied areas. So that's again a lesson I've learned, to perhaps, you know, when I don't feel as fresh as when I started, to stop and then go again at the painting the following day when you feel fresh again. So that's the first hour done, and we'll have a quick little look up close to the painting so we can see some of the brushwork. And I would say, you know, it's in a good position to carry on from here, that we've got a good sense of warm and cool. And there's no real white paint anywhere, that those light areas, they steer towards yellow. And, you know, if we put white paint next to it, it would definitely seem to be nowhere near white. So I decided it's a little bit vibrant. So Saturday morning, the day after, I decided let's steer it towards grey. I want to make it more realistic. So basically, I'm purposely muddying the colours slightly, but in a controlled way. But try not to lose the freshness of the brushwork. And if you want something to look realistic, which is what I was aiming for on this, that you know, still wanted it to be colourful and impressionistic, but I wanted a little bit less vibrancy of colour there. So, you know, in real life, a lot of the colours are grey, and even on a snow scene, that you know, if you take a piece of white card out with you, or white paper, and just hold it up in front of things when you're out and about, you'll see that nothing is going to be as bright white as that. So at this stage, there's a lot of paint on that canvas, so any decisions I make now need to be the final marks that lay the paint on top of what's there, and then it's done. And if I have to make any changes, it's kind of laying more paint on top of that, which is fine because all of that texture comes through and it looks great. So it's now looking slightly less vivid, which is great. I may have lost a few darks, so I'm just reinforcing those, putting those in. And I do find that actually with the sort of style of painting I do, sometimes it's a bit going forward and back. Sometimes, you know, you put a dark in and you lose it, and so on. Particularly if you've got a scene like this where you've got a lot of you know, very light values, almost to say almost white paint. And then you've got the real strong darks. But as soon as those mix together, you're going to lose your, you know, the light or the dark. So you've got to be careful how you lay the paint on. You know, you've got to do it confidently, and not use brushes too small. But I think I probably used a number sort of 4 or 5 flats and filberts to do most of this. So it's now not so bright and vibrant, so more realistic. But I still think I have that sense of light to it. And a lot of you think, well, I know you've covered a lot of the paint you put on there on the first hour, so what was the point in doing it? But a lot of that will be coming through in the next layers. So nothing is wasted. It's all building up texture, and those warms and cools will be coming through. Use my finger there a little bit as well to soften some of those edges. That you know, definitely keep stuff off in the background nice and soft. You want to send it back and keep those sharp edges for, you know, the focal points and where you want the eye to go. So really sort of laying the paint on fairly thick there where the sun is, because when the painting is lit from above, it will catch the light there. So we've done a few snow scenes on memberships that in various sort of styles. That I like to paint all sorts of different styles. You know, sort of like I'm very inspired by the Impressionists and sometimes more painterly look. I'm not, you know, sure whether, you know, describe my style as impressionistic or painterly. That you know, impressionistic is probably a more searched term on YouTube, so I know I do band that about like a lot of other artists do. But you know, I'm not too worried about what style I fit into or not. I just like painting, and you know, it is what it is. So just reinforcing some more of that contrast, light against dark. You know, that's a powerful tool in artwork. You know, you want the strong contrast. It gives the painting a bit more power. and a few leaves and so on the foreground. I think I stole that from one of the members who painted along on the live stream. It looks good in their painting. So, you know, artists steal from other artists. It's how we all learnt, you know, that doing the master studies and so on. And, you know, I think it's a great way to learn, to improve our skills. That, you know, why try and reinvent the wheel, as they say? You know, let's learn from other artists before us. And so lots of paint on there now. It's real thick paint there now. So it's quite nice, interesting painting to look up close to, because it's got so much paint and texture on there. And you know, it ended up going from that to that, which was, you know, 2 hours in total. But as you can see up close, there's some really interesting textures there. And you know, if you painted it again, it would look completely different. You know, it's so abstract and random. But I had a vision, and I knew I wanted to have warm and cool colours, but no, there's no white paint on there. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Good luck if you decide to give something like that a go, and I'll see you next video. There you go. Good luck with your painting. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, you'll love this one.